I almost cut it, but I felt it.
Good evening, and welcome to the Select Board meeting for Monday, October 23rd, 2023. Calling it to order, and if you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Although the agenda did not list public comments, we do have the opportunity for some public comments. I would just ask you to keep it brief. It was originally dropped because of a lengthy executive session planned after the meeting. But please, anyone who has comments, come to the microphone and identify yourself.
Cindy Williams, Executive Director of the Harwich Chamber, and I have exciting news to start the meeting. We always bring our new magazine for the upcoming year, and we have been able to pick, and I'm happy to do this. I know, Jamie, I'm probably not holding it up fine, but this is our new cover of the Harwich magazine. This is Brooks Academy. It is a reflection shot, so it is the heart of Harwich's 7 villages, and a couple of the articles that will be inside, and anyone that's interested can certainly come down to my office and see the big Post-it note of what I'm working on to showcase. But 7 families for 7 villages. I have had the opportunity to meet some families in each of the villages, and we have a lot of great families in history, and a lot of anniversaries coming up that we'll showcase. So if anyone's interested, please come down. But this is our new magazine. Very proud of it. I unveiled it the other day at the Harwich Historical Society's meeting as well. So that's my announcement for right now.
Great, thank you. That's beautiful. And I was just saying to Cindy before the meeting, I'm not sure how she does everything she does and does it so well. So thank you, Cindy. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm here representing myself as a private citizen of Harwich for the pickleball community.
We just need you to say your name, okay?
Yes, Lori Berkowitz.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing me to express my concerns and those of my fellow pickleball players, of which there are many, at least 340 of us, and growing. One of the fastest growing sports in the country. It's blossomed this summer, and many, many more young people are also playing and really enjoying it. It's a very joyful sport. People play pickleball to get exercise, and then they meet so many people, and even when we're very competitive, we're always having fun and laughing. And I would also love to teach and have anyone come join us and play with us so you could see why we all love it so much. My husband David and I moved to Harwich full-time in 2018. We appreciate that this town is so encouraging the sport of pickleball by having both indoor facilities and outdoor facilities for us. And as we have for the past 5 years, we signed up to play indoors at the Cultural Center at the 204. This year again, which was scheduled to begin last Monday, but October 16th, but then the floors had to be fixed and completed. They weren't ready yet. So we said, okay, we'll wait another week. And then now we were told that it was put on hold. The select board put indoor play on hold to revisit the fees. And we're not sure what there is to revisit because they've already been set and we've all accepted them, of course, and we've paid our fees and everything, and everyone's ready to play and very excited. We don't understand why we residents and taxpayers can't participate in this program that why we couldn't participate right now while you addressed your concerns, why we can't just get going with the program that we signed up for. The seniors and the working adults are just hoping to exercise and be with each other and enjoy our time. And also, no one else in the morning especially is using the gym. It's empty. And we don't even need much heat, if anything, because we run around and get very warm, so you don't even have to heat it much. So it's an excellent program, and it's already in place, and we know that the parents of young children are saying, they're concerned that they don't have programs in place, and we have a grandchild in town, so we understand those concerns. But this is already set and all ready to go. And we're just wondering if fees for other activities and rentals at other places or at the cultural center are also being put on hold and reviewed. It's just really negatively impacting us, and all we're trying to do is get exercise, have fun, and grow the sport of pickleball, which everyone seems to love so much. So thank you very much for listening and considering our concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you. And because I know this is your first time speaking, I'll just let you know, we don't respond to public comments because it's not an agenda item,
Okay.
but we will take that under review, and you'll see it come up at a meeting soon.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Chair, if I could, just as a point of public information, that topic will be addressed tomorrow evening at the Rec and Youth Commission meeting.
Great.
It's on their agenda, and then it will follow to the board.
Terrific. Thank you. No one else? We have the consent agenda, Jeff.
Yes, you may, Madam Chair, and welcome back.
Thank you.
I move that we approve the Select Board meeting minutes for October 2nd, 2023, and October 16th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4-0, Joe.
Thank you.
You want to keep going?
I will keep going. I move that we vote to affirm the appointment of Christine Flynn as the Director of Planning and Community Development.
Second.
Any discussion? Joe?
Just that I wholeheartedly endorse the motion. I ask the board for support. Very excited to have Ms. Flynn join us. As you may already know from the information provided to you as the employer, she has a very strong background, not only in the area of land use and planning from a county standpoint, but certainly related to Cape and the Islands. So very excited to have Ms. Flynn joining us if this is approved.
Her resume was certainly impressive. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4-0, Joe?
Thank you.
I move that we approve an event and one-day entertainment permit for the Harwich Chamber of Commerce, 1 Schoolhouse Road. Events and entertainment to be held December 1st, 2023 through December 3rd, 2023 in Harwich Port, Harwich Center, in East Harwich.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0, Joe?
Thank you.
Before we go to a motion on this, could we
See?
discuss it?
C, yes.
This was a collaborative effort, but I am going to ask Sharon, the chair of the Board of Health, to get up. There's 2 minor changes or 3 minor changes that got missed between the draft and the packet.
Okay, good evening. These will be short and sweet. If you look at the one that you have in front of you, on the first line, where it says Chapter 7, Section 4, where you have the 741 and 742, those get removed. Just the 741 and 42, just leave it Chapter 7, Section 4. All right? All right. Go down to the committee members, second paragraph, second line where it has director. And then after that, instead of what's listed there, it should say senior health agent, comma, executive assistant, comma, and inspectors. All right, those were Emily's comments to bring everything up to date, and I missed that. And then on the list of responsibilities, if you go to the one that says nuisance, we forgot to remove investigation, since we don't actually do that. That's, the department does that, and it'll just say enforcement. So other than that, it is as it stands. Those were the only things that I had missed. And I'm just want to ask another make a comment and then ask another question. When we put something similar to this on our homepage for the Department of Health, we're going to basically use the same thing, only what we're going to do under scope of responsibilities is have a section for the board versus the department, so that the people that come onto the site can see what the department does, because they do an awful lot that I think they don't get credit for, that people don't know about. So we're going to use basically the same thing, only under responsibilities have the board and the department. So just so, I don't think there should be any problem on that. And then I have a question to ask. We do have in here about the 5 people that are on the board. I'm wondering where we stand with the alternate and where we stand with the voting on that, because I'm hoping that if we can get that straightened out, that that can be voted on this May in the warrant. So I don't know where we stand with what we know as far as checking with legal on that. We were supposed to find out whether or not they do have voting rights. My guess is going to be, if they're going to allow an alternate, I can't imagine they're not going to allow voting. It actually wouldn't make sense to have somebody just sitting there so we can say that we have a quorum if they can't vote. But until we have some legal weigh in on this, we can't put anything in here. And then eventually this will have to come back, if we can, in front of the board to get that in there. So I'd like to find out, where we stand on that.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Michael?
So we decided, and as I said, this was a collective effort to get this charge before you tonight. A question that was asked a couple months ago, and I know it was asked last year as well, was whether or not the Board of Health could have 2 alternates as kind of a training ground on a regulatory board, just like Board of Appeals. That question has been asked of administration. I believe administration has reached out to council. We just haven't got the answer. But for tonight's exercise and this charge, we've left it at 5, knowing that we can bring it back if we get approval and the board approves 2 alternates. So the question is to the town administrator, where do we stand on the 2 alternate question?
So on the question of alternates, I'm just going through the charter reference that should be out there under Chapter 7 of the general bylaws. Which presently reads, Board of Health, 5 full members. So to adopt alternates would be an amendment of Chapter 7 of the general bylaws. To the question of how the alternates would operate, my understanding when the town updated the charter, I believe in 2016 or 2017, the town, through the Attorney General's office, received commentary that the town should add structure, for lack of a better word, around how you would want the alternates to work. Generally speaking, with a lot of the regulatory bodies, they would want to have standards where that if an alternate, as it is presently with planning and zoning, that if an alternate is used, they want to be able to be held to the Mullen rule, whereby they swear that they've been aware of everything, et cetera, et cetera. So to create the alternates would be to amend Chapter 7 of the general bylaws, but then we should take the effort of creating structure around alternates, generally, as per council.
So changing the bylaw is that town meeting?
Correct, that's a
So
warrant article at town meeting to change the bylaw. One would assume the Attorney General would approve that.
Yeah.
But the question from the AG's office on what is expected of the alternates and the mechanism they work is a different conversation that I would recommend you speak to council on.
Okay. And that's the piece that would decide whether those alternates vote or not,
Or how they operate.
how they would.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to add, this has come up before, that we're waiting for speaking to council, so this isn't something that's new. My question is, has anybody spoken to council about this?
I've spoken to council about getting the alternates added. I was not aware of the AG's commentary going back to 2016.
All right, where does that leave us as far as how do we find out whether they can vote or not?
They can vote if the bylaw is amended, but we should avail ourselves of the commentary of the Attorney General to the town back in 2016, 2017, and council's opinion on that. Alternates can be added, alternates could vote, but there is the open-ended question of the structure and the mechanism, which is not related to Board of Health. It's related to any alternates that the town wishes to use alternates.
Okay. So you're suggesting we should talk to,
So I think through the clerk's office, we'd be able to get prior year's commentary on the language regarding alternates and how the town should accommodate that.
okay,
As far as the Board of Health directly, I can create a warrant article to amend general bylaws, Chapter 7,
Yes.
to allow for some number of alternates.
okay.
That's the easier part, so to speak.
So do we have committees or commissions or boards that already have alternates, and do they vote?
Some, Julie, go ahead.
So, like the zoning board of appeals, planning board, if an alternate is gonna vote, they have to have attended a certain number of meetings, depending on how many meetings that particular case has brought. So, normally, the chair would make sure, confirm that they've attended the certain number of meetings to be able to vote in the absence of a regular member.
All right, so, and you can correct me if I'm misunderstanding this. So the fact that we already have committees or boards or commissions that are allowed alternates and that they can vote, where does that leave the Board of Health if we are allowed to have alternates and can vote? Because you're saying that it has to go back to what the rest of the,
So Joe is saying that there's two pieces to it. He's saying that, A, you would have to amend the bylaw
Right.
to allow it.
Right.
And then what he's saying is that when it was done, when it was amended back in 2016, 17, it was commentary by the AG's office. So to get that commentary in front of legal, to make sure that we structure whatever way the alternates could vote, and that the AG would say that that was appropriate. So it's a twofold. It's the
All right.
warrant article,
right,
and then the interpretation of the commentary that the AG's office provided back in 2016.
all right, so that wouldn't carry over. In other words, what they agreed to for the other boards, commissions, or committees would not necessarily carry over to the Board of Health, is that correct?
Want legal's opinion on that and how to structure it. The Mullen Rule is the one we were just talking about, in the sense
Okay,
of
all
having
right.
a certain, having attended a certain number of those hearings to be able to vote.
All right, if it is all right that we're going to be allowed to have the alternates, during the interview part of that, can that be part of the structure that as an alternate, that they've got to attend the meetings?
Michael?
If I may, I want to reel this back in, given that this is not on the agenda tonight.
Oh,
I don't want to violate open meeting law. We have plenty of critics. So I want to get back to this. What I heard Joe say is, which I will ask you for an agenda item next week, to vote to put an article together for alternates so that Joe has some direction. The rest of it is just legalese, and it's something that we can incorporate language into the article on how they have to vote.
all right.
Seems pretty simple, but we can't discuss it tonight
All
more
right.
than we already have. So, Mary, I will email you, and with that, I put a motion on the floor. I know there might be another
Okay.
speaker on the actual article, but
Okay.
I've moved that we approve the updated committee charge for the Board of Health as amended.
Second.
Any further discussion?
You have one standing.
Did you want to speak on this, Linda?
I'm a little taller.
Show
Thank you
off.
very much, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say that the Bylaw Charter Review Committee has seen that in the Charter, Section 7, the various committees are kind of all over the place in terms of their description. I think I've spoken with you, we have spoken, Michael, that we would like to put together some words that clarifies all of the committees, and will add that language, if it's appropriate, on alternates, number of alternates, and make sure that the wording is similar to all of them. You know, you change something, you don't change it for the others, and it's kind of a mosh at this point. So we would like to do that, Michael. You and I talked about that, and I think we can accommodate that pretty easily.
Great, thank you. Did we vote?
Not yet.
No,
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4-0, Joe.
thank you.
One parting comment, just to thank the town clerk. I did speak to Linda about this particular charge, and Sharon, who did the heavy lifting, along with our health director, Carrie. So a lot of minds went into this, but Sharon really did the heavy lifting.
Thank you very much, Sharon. and everyone else. So now we are going to take a motion to adjourn because we're going to go into executive session. So I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Madam Chair, I apologize. You're going to vote to go into executive session for the
Okay.
reasons listed, and I believe you're going to state that you will be adjourning and not coming back to the public meeting.
I believe we will be stating that.
So I'll move that we, the board, move into executive session pursuant to General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for the negotiations with non-union personnel and to conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel, police chief, and town administrator.
And that we will
Can I
not be
get a
returning
second?
to-
And that we will not be returning to our regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Call?
Roll call.
Oh, roll call. Michael?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
And I'm an aye.